I can usually do my best to find a way to justify someone whose heart is in the right place, but head is in the totally wrong place. But I'm really having a tough time with this one. I'm having a really tough time when it comes to this credit card policy that is being floated out there by the President of the United States that would cap credit card interest rates at 20, or he'd cap it at 10%, and that's what President Trump wants to do. And this morning, he gave a shout out to Roger Marshall on his Truth Social. That's right. The president writing on social media this morning, everybody should support our great Republican Senator, Roger Marshall, and his Credit Card Competition Act in order to stop the out-of-control swipe fee ripoff. Roger is a fantastic senator, President Donald J. Trump. Now, we love Roger Marshall. He's a great friend of the show. I think that the government getting more involved in any private sector oftentimes proves to fail. And this is case in point. You want to create an atmosphere where people have lower credit card rates or don't have as high of credit card debt. The first thing you can do is figure out how to make the dollar more valuable instead of destroying it every single year due to overspending by the federal government and inflation. That's number one. If you continue with economic policies that create an environment where people don't have to go into credit card debt, that's the real win. Not having the government go out there and basically pick winners and losers and tell businesses what they can and can't do. Because, by the way, you know who's going to love this idea? Bob's payday loans. I mean, Bob is licking his chops right now because as people suddenly get rejected by Visa and MasterCard and Chase and some of the others because, you know, these companies are not going to be willing to give credit cards to people with very bad credit, where are they going? Payday lenders. And then suddenly, you know, the guy in India working for Visa doesn't seem nearly as harmful as Bob when he sends one of his cronies after you with a baseball bat. So Roger Marshall was on Fox Business yesterday. Here's what he had to say.
Look, I'm always going to be out here fighting for hardworking Americans. I'm going to be fighting for Main Street over Wall Street. Look, 2 credit card companies work hand in glove. Them and about 5 banks control 80% of this industry. Because of that, Americans are paying 7 times more for swipe fees. These banks are charging 20 to 30% interest. You know, think about this. The average family back home carries $7,000 of credit through from month to month at a 30% interest rate. That's well over $100 a month. That's not fair. This monopoly, this oligomonopoly is why this is happening. Desperate times call for desperate measures. If we can fight for hardworking Americans, I'm right behind President Trump on this one.
No, it sounds so good. Thinking that putting caps on credit card interest will help affordability. But that's not at all how it's going to work. You are simply going to regulate poorer people out of access. And that's what price controls always do. They always do that. I saw this on the text line. And, you know, it just drives me nuts. Some people want to go down the road of doing what? Blaming the Jews. Everything's about the Jews. Yes, because the Jews are the ones that made you buy a used Ford Mustang at a 16% interest rate, right? That was on them.
Let's go to Candace on line 1.
Candace, we got Tucker on line 2. I mean, we're filling them up here on the phone lines.
There's Megyn Kelly over
here.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Stop with that, okay? And it's not about where you're at when it comes to your socioeconomic level. That's not what this is about, okay? It's not what this is about. And it may be, and I've seen people cite too, well, this is an 80-20 issue. You know what? Most crazy left-wing ideas are 80-20 issues until they get implemented. Then they're 20-80 issues. That's always how this works, time and time again. Steve's in KCK. What's up, Steve?
Pete, I just want to give a big thank you to this program and to Dave Ramsey and the Margins program you guys had about 5 years ago, right before COVID hit. My church took advantage of that program. Like currently right now, the only debt I have is my home. I drive a 98 Lincoln Town Car, a 2005 Honda. Taxes is cheap. Insurance is cheap. I don't have credit card debt. All my bills are paid and everybody's happy and healthy. What more can a man ask for? And I live in a low-rent neighborhood in Wyandotte County, and I'm okay with that. So thank you, Pete. And so all this credit card business, it means nothing to me. I'm just a working truck driver out here that's living off $80,000 a year and happy as hell.
Well,
thanks, Pete.
God bless you there, Steve. Yeah, we got Financial Peace is coming to our church here coming up in a couple of weeks. And I know there's many churches that have utilized Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University program. And Dave is still on KCMO. We don't have him on in the middays anymore, but he's on at 10 p.m. every weeknight here on KCMO Talk Radio. And you're right. I mean, that program has changed people's lives. And even if you're someone who has a credit card, which, of course, Dave is not a proponent of, but if you have one and you pay it off, well, you're not giving these companies a dollar. You're not. So once again, this feels like an opportunity for politicians to absolve people of their own personal decisions and personal responsibility and say, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. And what did Ronald Reagan call that? What? The 7 most dangerous words in the English language? And Elizabeth Warren, there she is. Chief Liz herself. Where was she on yesterday, Mark? Where is this clip from? I want to make sure I credit it properly. Was it CBS?
CBS News, yeah.
All right. She's on CBS, and she is just, she loves this policy. She loves Trump, at least on this issue. Here she was yesterday.
Look, what I talked about this morning is the importance of Democrats fighting to lower costs. And for me, that's what this is all about. That's what the conversation was all about, how to get costs down for American families.
Did he seem willing to engage with you on those specific policies?
So I don't want to talk about a personal conversation here, but I do want to make clear this conversation was entirely about how to lower costs for American families. And I will do whatever it takes to get those costs down. That's what Democrats need to be fighting for right now. Donald Trump promised he was going to do it. Remember, in the run-up to the election, he said day after day after day after day that he was going to lower costs on day one. And now here we are 1 year into the Trump administration, and the cost of housing is up, the cost of health care is up, the cost of utilities is up, the cost of groceries is up. All of those are up because of Trump and congressional Republican policies. It is the job of Democrats to hold Donald Trump and the Republicans accountable, to lay out the plans that will reduce costs.
That's enough. All right, yeah, and somehow the plan to reduce costs, which, by the way, inflation just came in this morning at 2.6%. That's the lowest in 5 years. And while, yes, I'd like to see more done, I think that overall the economic agenda of this administration is positive and is going to result in, I think, a much better economy than the alternative would have produced. But she's trying to, obviously, what Liz Warren is doing there is obviously knocking Trump while also agreeing with him on this credit card policy and acting like it's for the little guy and it's going to help the little guy. All right. And here's the reality. Credit card debt is not about income. There are plenty of rich fools who carry credit card debt, just like there are poor people who carry credit card debt. It's not exclusive to your income that drives whether or not you have credit card debt. It's not the case. It's just a filthy idea that will only make things even worse. So I don't get it. And when you've got Liz Warren playing footsie with you and saying this is great policy, there has not been a single economic policy in Liz Warren's life that she has been right about. And if you suddenly think that this is the one that makes sense, this is the one that she finally got right, please don't fall for it.